Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this. What is today? The 14th day. And as I promised here, folks, we've got the Big Ten and Rich guys here coming back for the program. Matt New York will be around here somewhere. I sent him the link earlier. But we're going to talk about do a recap of the college football playoff and, of course, get everybody's predictions for next Monday's big game here. So let me go ahead and bring the guys up. That's Big, Rich, and Kenny, which is also known as Tan.
What's up?
Round of applause here, guys. Hold on. Welcome back to the program. Kenny, I'm sorry about last time there, brother. I got you in here. And, of course, we're bringing in the Mad New York. All right. Normally, and everybody, some guys ask me to come on their program a lot. My friend Jeremy Baldrick out of Detroit. And I turned him down because I said I don't do these panels. So, Jeremy, this is a rare situation, Jeremy. Do not take it personal, like the Monica song. Don't take it personal. So,
but it is personal.
You remember that, don't you, Kenny?
The Band-Aid.
Oh God, I got 90s lyric songs in my head, guys, going like crazy from R&B, 80s and 90s because I've been doing Uber on the side, and I got my playlist.
I already know, Robert.
That's the best era, man.
I hit.
That's Mary J right there, bro.
I hit him up with a lyric just about every Thursday. Some kind of new song. I throw an Outkast lyric at him, Caroline or somebody. I want to ask everybody this. There was some news that broke today. We could go on any particular. I like to get my man Kenny to go first because I didn't get at Lincoln last time. But Rondale Moore, folks, has said, I'm going back to school to Oregon. And what a diss to the Jets. But what a big get for the University of Oregon. Kenny, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think it's cool. Like,
yeah.
This is the thing. It kind of speaks to the dysfunction of some of the teams in the NFL, doesn't it? Like, if you have the option to go to the NFL and you know you're probably going to land somewhere, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll just take a little less money and go back to school this year and see how it pans out next year. It's unfortunate, but I mean,
less money.
Oh no, I'm saying less. Well, you know what I'm saying. Like,
is it a $5 million plus?
I mean, in the long term, right?
Yeah.
So before taking that next step, it's like, and it's not that the team's just bad. It's some of these teams are just dysfunctional. Yeah, they're just ran poorly, and it's like, I don't care if I get drafted to a team that's bad. If you're getting drafted high, you know they're going to be bad. But I don't want to go to a team that's ran like shit, if we're being honest.
And guys, we try not to curse them here if we can. I know
like
that
crap.
Nick Saban curses a lot on game day. I watch game day a lot.
All right, this ain't game day. Okay, I'm sorry.
But you can see that everybody else is so cringeworthy when he does it. Carlos, you're out of New York. Have you heard any sports talk radio today when that news broke this afternoon about Rondale Moore?
Well, I saw and heard a lot of these commentators poo-poo in their pants and start whining.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
Like, you know, as a New Yorker and as a Jets fan and Giants fan, and I'll explain later why I'm both. But listen, the guy's doing what he's got to do for himself. And the Jets would have done what they wanted to do for their own team, and the Giants, they do what they want for their own team. And so there's nothing wrong. I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just business, man. It's just business. And at the end of the day, he's better off. He got opportunity to win a Heisman again. He's going to get paid $5 million plus, and he's going to be in college finishing up. And, you know, if he wants to get a degree, or if not, he's at least in college and he's hanging out with a bunch of co-eds. Like, I don't see a bad thing at all for him.
He's going to play for a good team.
Yeah, and they're going to be on the national spotlight no matter what. So,
yeah. Big, you're jumping at the big there, Seth.
Robert, I would never. Hey, Robert, I don't think you would ever give up the opportunity to get more Nike swag if you could get it for free.
There's so much swag there, and there's a lot of money there. I mean, I got a lot to say about it, but I don't want to hog up all the airspace. All right, Seth. You look like you're chomping at the bit. Rondale Moore's back at Oregon, brother.
Well,
Dante.
who just transferred to Oregon?
Dante Moore. I don't know who is Rondale Moore.
Trust me.
That's a wide receiver from a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah, the Moore.
Also, Robert, you are the least of wait till I start naming people. Richard and Kenny both know I never get a first name right. But we know
There's a
who
lot of
just
Moores
transferred.
in the NFL. There's DJ Moore. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know who just transferred to Oregon, right?
Dylan Rolela
Right.
from
The
I think he's going to
Oregon,
transfer
the
to Alabama.
Nebraska quarterback.
Yeah.
So now, so he's voluntarily putting himself back into a position to maybe not start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because someone's going to play and someone's not. So, yeah, he's going to catch a check, but he may have costed him draft position too if he doesn't start once spring ball starts.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, NFL, if you're a top 10 quarterback drafted, it's a guaranteed 20.
Okay.
Is that right?
Well,
Over
yeah,
4 years
it's not
or
what it
over
used to
5
be.
years with the 5th-year option.
yes.
So,
Yes.
so in saying that, yes, he gets a lot of money right now, but he may have cost him a lot more money down the road if things don't play out. Like he bet on himself in a sense, which I appreciate, and makes his story interesting. But if he doesn't play this year, is he going to try to apply for another year? And then we have another Trinidad situation where maybe he doesn't get to play. Like
So,
there's
Cam
a
Ward's
lot of
con-
things happening right now with him going back.
Cam Ward's total contract is 4 years, $48 million.
Yes.
So a little bit
So
more.
he gets 5 now.
almost $10 million a year.
What I think maybe have happened, an agent or someone got in his ear and told him he wasn't going to, like, he's not a top 10 pick.
All these balks have got him going 2 to the Jets.
That's not a
That-
guarantee.
They had those same people had Shedeur Sanders going number 2 last year too.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
A lot of smoke
someone
and
got
mirrors
in his
right now.
ear.
That
And they
was
were like-
Mel Kiper said that, Rich. A lot of these other mocks did not.
Kuiper.
He's doubling down on it too.
He's always right, isn't he?
Yeah,
To
he's
hear him tell it.
never lost. But I think someone got in his ear and was like, "Yeah, you're not a lottery pick."
Rich, what do
And
you
I,
think, brother?
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, these people know way ahead of time where their draft stock really is, so it's very possible. And maybe he thinks that his value coming back a year will rise even higher.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I read a stat here. You guys have probably heard this already if you're watching any kind of sports talk. But there's a stat done on guys that's only started the amount of games that he has in the NFL, 1 year starters per se. And you've got a lot of Mitch Trubisky's, Anthony Richardson's. There have been some guys that's topped out, Cam Newton, Mark Sanchez, but you compare them to guys that have played 4 years. We all know the SEC, a Bo Nix. You think if Bo Nix had 1 year at Auburn, you think he's going to be drafted really high? Or you think he's going to have even the success even with a Sean Payton like he's had now? So I think that's gotten his ear, and it's like, you know something? $5 million, not play for the Aaron Glenn and the Jets. I'll bet on myself and maybe come out next year. Although next year's class does look pretty good if you got like an Arch Manning coming out and a Sellers out of South Carolina. But he looks more polished to me. I didn't think he looked bad in the Texas Tech game, guys. Now, that first pick 6 in the Indiana game, that didn't help.
But what if you guys you're forgetting one thing about business? What if there's a lockout?
Well, we're not even close to whatchamacallit being up yet.
CBA, right?
I don't think the
CBA 's
CBA's even up yet. I know Rich keeps up with that.
Yeah, I don't think I have no indications for CBA.
5 years out.
and he falls into that contract dispute, right? Because don't they? That's the first thing they want to fix, anyways. Isn't that what the ownership they want to fix that? That's one thing that they're going to try to fix is that the draft the contracts to the guys getting drafted.
Well, I think from all accounts, like owners are pretty happy with how the draft fixed it, how they fixed the draft.
It used to be horrible.
Yeah, I mean Matthew
Yeah.
Stafford was
Vince Young was
100
probably the worst. Stafford was worth the money.
Matthew Stafford was $100 millionaire as a rookie. Like that guy's made a ton. Like, and he was the last. If I'm not mistaken, that's why he came out is because he was the last draft class where you could negotiate a contract.
Yeah, who was the big bust quarterback on that? They got paid like a ton.
Marcus Russell.
No, even worse. Well, along those same lines, I'm thinking about somebody else.
I thought it was 2009 was the last year that they had before that CBA where you had rookies making more than guys in second, third contracts that are balling out and showing that they belong in the NFL. I want to say it was 2010, but I may be off a year or two. So whoever was that 2009 first overall pick, Sanchez, I think, Carlos, went in 2009 to the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. He wasn't the first overall pick, but he was up there.
He was a top
Right.
pick, right?
Yeah, he still made a lot of money.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
Yeah, he did okay.
Yeah.
But like it's also they were signing contracts for long periods of time. These guys now only have like 5-year contracts if the team wants to keep them.
Yeah, I like the way it's set up now.
4 years with a 5-year
Fifth-year option.
opt-in,
If you're
yeah.
drafted in the first round, you don't get
Yeah,
that.
and I mean, so if Cam Moore's contract is maxed out at 48 million something, and some change, I mean, that's not anything for paying for a franchise quarterback. That's for 4 years. Not there's some quarterbacks that are making that in one.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to structure a team now if you're rebuilding. You have to hit on a
that
first round
window.
quarterback
Yeah.
and load up on free agents and other guys in that 5-year period.
Yeah,
Like,
look
you've
where the
gotta
Eagles are
develop
right now.
teams So
Right.
fast.
You guys need to start talking to Sean about how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Like the other part of it is that's like the Jets had to. I mean, if they think Moore was going to go to the Jets, then like that's a serious thing you have to look at. Like maybe like he was getting some word where his snap count wasn't where teams wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
most recent was San Francisco with is it North Dakota State quarterback?
Trey
Like-
Lance was another one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Trey
that one.
Lance
Yeah.
had like historically low snap counts.
Yeah.
And he was drafted in the first round.
Yeah, and there's a
They got
total
lucky
there.
that their 7th round pick that year ended up being okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
Brock is still playing, baby.
Yeah.
Brock is back. I got another question for everybody. Was this playoff more interesting than last year? We'll start off. Kenny, go ahead, brother. What you think?
Honestly, I think it was very interesting. I mean, some of the games, like obviously the games didn't go the way I thought they were going to.
Yeah.
But they were very exciting. I mean, most of them were really pretty good games, but some of the outcomes of them were not what a lot of people predicted. And I think that just leads to a little bit more excitement, honestly.
Yeah. thought that was
I've
a-
enjoyed them so far. I'll be honest.
Yeah. What do you think, Seth, man? More interesting or a kind of a drag? I don't know.
My favorite part about this is Notre Dame finally shut up. They've been on my nerves this
Kicking butt,
whole
yeah.
time, complaining about 2 teams that got in by the rules, but the one team that got in over them, they don't want to say their name. Like Miami proved to everyone why they should have been in over them. Now, like people are going to complain about the Tulane and the James Madison and all of that getting in, but then all of a sudden they swallow their tongues when it comes to the next round, and these big teams are still getting blown out. We didn't really have a good game until Georgia Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That was a really good game. That was an exciting football game. Now, given I wasn't happy and I turned it off at 9 minutes to go in the game, but that's just how I watch football. That's how I watch my team games. I know they're going to lose.
It's your
But,
fault
like,
because you were watching it.
Yeah, pretty much at that.
Yeah, why were you even in the room?
Yeah.
I was
Inside
standing-
joke.
I was standing like there's not enough time for me to go.
It was a
through
work
my
night
chances.
too, guys. And
Right. I
So-
like the thing is like it was good because of the unexpectedness of it. There's not a person out there that picked Indiana every round. There's not. You can't.
well,
I'm not-
we picked them. Me and Mad New Yorker picked them to win the national virtual fist pump there, Carlos.
Oh
So-
wow! Okay, then y'all nailed it because they're
Yeah,
not.
they did. Yeah.
They're
Hey,
not.
we had it's the big time here, so
Well, no one's talking about me picking James Madison to cover, and I'm the only. I
They
know
did
I'm the
cover.
only man
They
in
did
the
cover.
they did cover.
They
So
Better.
how much money did y'all put on the futures for?
I did not
Indiana
do
to
a
win it?
futures, but I did bet them. Kenny, I don't know if you heard me the other day. I did take them over Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Straight up money line. Straight up money
That's a
line.
good call.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
I
was
do
holding
like
my breath. That was an airtight game, but I was holding my breath.
I do like the parody of it. I do like Miami making it this far. I think having I guess you could call them a college football blue blood because of their past history and the number of championships they have. I do appreciate having that in there. And then I said it the last time I was on here, Kirk Cignetti, I think it might be the best coaching hire of our generation. He has turned the worst football program in the nation into the best because he figured out NIL, he figured out transfer portal. Given they're mostly his kids from James Madison. Yeah. Also, congratulations, Kenny, to getting a James Madison player on LSU. They're proven to be ballers in the big leagues. Yeah.
Now.
So, like, he has flipped that team completely around. They're talking about this team being one of the best college football teams ever put together. They're talking about them being the only team better than them is the last LSU national championship team.
But isn't it already the single best coaching job we've ever seen in a season?
Yeah.
I don't know, Bama, Saban. I don't know. If I can say that.
I'm not talking about coach. I'm not talking about overall coach. I'm talking about just one season.
Yeah.
Like
in a vacuum.
And Georgia a couple of years ago.
Well, see, Georgia. See, this is
you're taking a team that's never even been. You're talking about from the dirt to the sky.
Historically, they are the worst. They have the worst record in college football history. Like, they are a bad program. And Kirk Cignetti literally was like, Google me, I'll win. And has been to the playoffs 2 years in a row. Nick Saban had Alabama in the championship his second year. That's Alabama. Now you're saying Alabama and Indiana are the same? Because
I'm
they
just
both
saying
did the same
coaching
thing.
job, that good of a coaching job. I mean, but you're right. They've had a historic losing record, and for him to flip that into likely a national championship is incredible.
With no 5 stars.
Who's that guy who did at UCF about 10 years ago?
You talking about Fromm before he went to Nebraska?
Yeah. That was a coach. That was a coach.
Good.
Yeah, but
it'll take years to figure out how good this one was. To really dig deep into this one.
Because UCF didn't even get invited.
If they don't win the national championship game, it's kind of, we'll look at it like we looked at the 2007 Patriots. So like, nah.
Yeah, Rick, I agree.
Think, man? Interesting, or I don't know. Not really. This particular playoff run.
Unmute him.
Oh,
sorry. I'm doing that. I got it. Oh. I got a 3-year-old running around. I think it's not as interesting. I think this year is more interesting than last year because last year Ohio State was kind of blowing everybody out. This year there's been some unexpected wins. There's been a lot of drama, especially the last 2 rounds. And so I think this year is proving 2 things, and is that they kind of got things right when they're picking these teams, and also there's probably too many teams. I'm going to go back against what I said last time I was on here. I don't think there should be 14. I think there should be less after this first round of playoff.
Okay.
You like my 10 pick last week? Should be just the top 10?
Yes.
Ooh, I love it.
Well, you want to keep that regular season relevant. I love a good game in October. It's huge, and I don't want that to water down. There's watered down a little bit, but it's still good games. But, man, I love them regular season games where you get hyped up all week for that one Saturday night game.
Yeah, and I liked it that the national championship's a gimme. Like, I don't know who's going to win it. I think the 2 best teams are in it, though.
Yeah. Who's
I agree
playing
with
the best football right now? What do you think, Carlos? Bad New York?
I got to roll back my tongue because I was screaming out about the ACC. And,
yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was mad, man. I was mad. Like, come on. And now there's no SEC team in the mix.
Yeah. So
it's like, you and I, Robert, we're always like, as long as there's an SEC team in there, it's a battle. And now I don't know how many SECers are are here on the panel, but I'm sure all of us got a team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
All of us.
ain't repping at all. And that was the
Carlos
best
went
football.
to Tennessee for a little while, guys. He's from New York, but he lived in Clarksville and wrote the president of Tennessee and whatever, and got into Tennessee. Long story.
He took me out to lunch, bro. Now,
Yeah,
anyway,
that's what's up, man.
but it just came down to, like, all us connoisseurs of SEC football. We don't have a team in the mix at the end, and it's not a positive thing, but it's a football thing, and I feel like we got to take a look at on our teams in the SEC and figure it out, because just because one guy left and Nick Saban doesn't mean that there's the repercussions been so bad. I mean, and the NIL didn't help these teams, right? So they gotta do something quick, and they gotta do it fast, because they added those two teams, and Texas and Oklahoma, right? Oh, Texas and and so
Oklahoma.
in Oklahoma. So we made it less. We made less parity on that in that conference. So you're talking about the top 10.
Yeah,
it's going to be some of those teams that don't make it, if that's what you really want.
But I don't want 14 or 6. Carlos, you're setting me up for that next point. But I do want to say this: that Texas-Oklahoma game, I had Oklahoma. I didn't see that comeback happen. I thought that was great. I recorded that game, and I was thinking, okay, somebody mentioned the score. I was doing Uber Friday night. I was like, don't tell me. I was like, okay, yeah, Oklahoma's got them. Good. I started to go home and delete it. I'm glad I watched it all the way through, even though it didn't end the way I wanted it to end. I love that unpredictable. Listen, guys, that Ole Miss game was on a Monday. It was on I had to go to work the next day. I forgot what night it was on. But I was thinking
Thursday night.
Yeah, it was like on a weird night, the Ole Miss Georgia game. I thought this is going to be a boring game because Georgia's playing really good football right now. Ole Miss, they did beat Tulane, but there's no Kiffin there. This is where it's really going to be kind of and man, I'm so glad I did not delete that game. And I thought this is pretty interesting. This is way more better than the Final Four teams. Way better than last year. Although that Notre Dame game was pretty good against Georgia last year. But these games are really good, man. And, hey, what about Ohio State and Miami?
Yeah.
I mean, Miami had airtight defense. And everybody's thinking, okay, what are Ohio State going to blow this out? I mean, are they going to blow it back out open once they get their footing? But it was a 14-point deficit, and they never really caught them. So
Miami had a 12th man in that game, and it was the wind. So no one would expect a team in Miami that deals with hurricanes on the daily to figure out the wind before Ohio State.
Well, no, the thing is
a great game, though, man. I mean, Ohio State, I thought they was going to blow Ohio State out, and then Ohio State comes back, and you could tell the talent level. It kind of reminded me of the Ohio State-Indiana game. Mm-hmm. And there's just not that many good games in the postseason. And I think it's the best season ever. And that leads to my next question, Carlos. You teed that one up, and I'm going to knock it off the tee bat here. There's a lot of national talk about the SEC falling off now. They don't have the money. They don't have the coaching. Paul Feinbaum, Collie Cowherd, all the Fox Sports, the Big Ten people are saying this is the end. I ask you guys, is this a 5-year drought? It's been a 3-year? I'm saying in the next 2 to 3 years, the SEC is going to come. I'll go first. I think the SEC will come back because it still means more here. A small town like Alabama can still find a way to get a coach like Nick Saban. They're not going to stay down, even without the oil money teams, your Texas teams. It still means more in Georgia. LSU, look what they did to get Kiffin. I still say in the next 2 to 3 years, they're going to get off the schneid, like a Chris Berman would say, and they're going to get back into it. It's just not going to be one conference now, But I don't think it's going to be where we're too broke to afford it. So
definitely
what
not.
do your guys take? Rich, what do you think? You look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I mean, what? Because they're not in the national title championship for 1 year. I mean,
I think it's 3. Well, you had Ohio State, Michigan. Now it's going to be.
They had 6 teams in this playoff.
Yes.
I mean, So I mean, they had half the field. Just because they didn't get to the championship game doesn't mean that they're like, oh no, the SEC. Like,
Yeah,
they're
Rich,
still a
that's
great.
a terrible ratio, bro. That's like if you ask 6 girls out. None of them.
It just shows how hard it is to win a national championship. Just like how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. Like,
Yes.
you know, I mean, I like it. I don't mind it at all. And I'm an SEC homer, and I want to see, them always be successful. But just, I don't think there's a drought. And but there is a level of NIL that is taking up some of this, like, and the transfer portal is just out of control right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially with a lot of people having so much eligibility that they're having extended college careers. So, I think the NIL is definitely making an impact, but I wouldn't say that they're in a drought or anything.
And it's not going to be like a 10-year drought or nothing like that. You're not saying okay.
No.
Okay. Kenny, what you think, brother?
I think honestly, like the whole NIL situation is great for college football in general, just because of the teams that are in the mix now and what teams can do and how easily they can build their teams now. The parity is great. I feel like it just makes college football more interesting. Has it hurt the SEC? Obviously, well, sure. But the thing is, once NIL, and what's going to happen eventually, once NIL gets regulated and all this stuff gets under control and there's more regulations behind all of it, kids are not going to just be looking at who's paying them the most money. They're going to be looking at the schools. They're going to be looking at just the pageantry.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking at the coaches that they're going to be paying even more attention to that. And they're going to be like, who's going to give me NFL ready? And most of those teams are going to be in the SEC. Not all of them, but most of them. And I think we're going to see a turnaround. I mean, we're going to see them getting the top recruits and all that kind of stuff again. But I really don't think that we're in that bad of a place. In a couple of years, I could see an SEC team winning next year. Georgia would have been really close. If Georgia could have pulled it out against Ole Miss, we'd probably be sitting there watching them in the national championship right now. So we weren't that far off. Sometimes it just ends up that way. Like it sucks for fans of the SEC, but I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I think within a couple of years we could see a turnaround.
Yeah,
and we could see LSU right back in there in the national championship again, probably in 2 years. So,
okay,
y'all buckle up for that.
Maybe next year, if Texas can get some people around Arch, what do you think, Big?
Well, we're about to find out with Texas. Texas has decided to do what everyone else is doing and load up through the portal. People are saying they're assembling the Avengers of college football down there.
Okay.
What I think the SEC's problem is they have not figured out the transfer portal and NIL. We have money. Like, if anything, Arkansas has Tyson. Everybody has these. Like, Mississippi State has Mossy Oaks.
I may clip that, Big. Love that.
They have that money there. The thing is they're still trying to do the old school way of recruiting. They're taking recruiting over transfer portal and bringing in these people. And it's proven now, just because you sign someone to a contract doesn't mean they're going to stay through that contract. Right. Georgia is currently suing a former player for for not fulfilling his contract and transferring to Missouri. Yeah. Like, they're going after money now. They're like, you're not taking any money that you didn't earn. So that's going to change the game too. They're making people, which is funny, is they're making players accountable for their contracts and leaving early. Not so much the coaches. That's a completely different story. But I think what's happening is Texas is working on figuring it out. Texas is going to say they're the ones that are going to show everyone in the SEC, this is how you do it. Go get men and let someone else raise these guys through recruiting, and then just go pay them more money than that school will.
Had another question for Kenny. I'm glad he didn't bounce on me. I had a LSU question for you, brother. Go ahead. Tim. Yeah.
Oh, and I would just say, like, it takes time, because historically no one pays players better than the SEC, whether it be legal or illegal.
Like, I heard what Ed Orgeron said.
Yeah, like
We
Nick
used to bring
Saban
it
likes
the
to
back door. Now we bring it in the front door.
right. Like Nick Saban likes to pretend that he
Man.
never paid a player at Alabama, but yet he had
Yeah.
a BMW dealership and half the wide receiving core were driving BMWs. Like, come on, Nick.
found a
We
loophole.
know what was going on. Like,
Because the
it's not-
Toyota dealership was like 100 miles the other way. That's why.
yeah, exactly. So like Nick Saban is smart. Like, I guarantee he never touched a bag of money, but he
No.
had plenty of bagmen. Plenty of bagmen.
Only his money bags.
Yeah.
But here's a
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead, Carlos. What's your take on this?
Here's the thing: are we going to see Vanderbilt do the same thing they did this past year? Probably not.
Well,
So
of course we are, because they just took the number one quarterback recruit from Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean from Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean
mean,
it makes it
They're
doesn't.
going to have a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I just think like the way these teams were climbing up and trying to be competitive it's going to become like one of these other conferences, like the Big 12, where you only got two good teams. Because what happens is that not just the parity, but the coaching, like you guys talking about Texas loading it up. Is Sarkisian the coach to be able to take these guys to the next level and win a championship? I mean, it looks like there was talk about him. He might even leave. Like a month before the championship talk started happening, because he was having issues with winning and the NIL and all that, and the portal and all that stuff.
I think that is just a lot of college noise. College football always has just a lot of noise with coaches because, again, Cignetti has messed it up for everybody. He really has. And so, like, now people are like, why can't you win? You've been here 2 years. You got to grow a program. It's still, you have to grow it. Like, he knew he had dogs and brought those dogs with him.
Well, here's a problem, Big. Like you just said, you got to do things a new way because now you have NIL, so you can't do things the old way. Like, so which one is it? Like, and the thing is, it's
a mix. You still got to recruit guys, but you still have to go to the NIL to fill in.
Yeah, but you sending all these commitment letters, you're receiving them, and then 3 weeks later, the guy's like, "Yeah, nah, man. Oregon gave me a nice book bag that said Nike as the new shoes, and I like that better than than what you had given me."
100% kids picking schools because of uniforms anymore. 100%. They're picking schools based on how big that book bag is with money in it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
it.
Like, but you had said that the SEC has to like move forward and do things differently now, and then you're talking about, well, these guys, these coaches are still trying to do it the old way. So this is what I'm saying. It's gonna be like the conferences that we used to make fun of, Rob and I, and even you, Rich. We make fun of like the Big 12 and the Pac-10 or Pac-12 now. Like, we made fun of them because they only have like 3 good teams or 2 good teams like that were competitive in that being it. So now you made it harder for the University of Kentucky. You made it harder for Arkansas. You made it harder for. I'm not sure what Vanderbilt's going to do, because Vanderbilt's they're one of the only prestigious SEC schools that actually your GPA kind of counts. I mean, they still kind of try to throw that in your face, but it's not going to be the same SEC that it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Like, definitely not.
I don't think it's going to be a major drought.
And then look what happened to Florida.
Be another drought for a few more years for a championship drought. That's my question. That's a lot of sentiment going around nationally.
So we had 6 teams, man. We had 6 teams.
National championship draft. That ain't.
I know, but we had 6 teams in the game.
2 seasons. It's been 2 seasons.
What I'm saying,
this is the natural progression of college football.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like it's going to come back. People were saying the same thing when Ohio State and Clemson were winning national championships. Guess what happened? Alabama became Alabama. Georgia won 2 in a row. Georgia dog walked Big 10 teams on the way to the national championship each time.
You know what? Ohio State people are probably saying the same thing before they won last year. They were like, "Oh, we're in a drought. Oh no, we haven't done anything in a while."
People who complain about no parity in college football don't understand. There's a lot of parity, and there's blue bloods in college sports for a reason. It's because they've developed programs. Like, college footballs are corporations now, and the product are players.
Huge corporations. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like the only difference is Indiana figured it out before anybody.
Yeah. And Mark Cuban
eventually
check the other day too, by the way.
These Indiana coaches are going to start leaving and taking this information with them, because
Yeah.
that's how you steal information is you get assistant coaches. You pay them more, you have them in your program, and you put it under a big spotlight and go, how'd you do it? You develop a program
storyline for the off season if they come out
Yeah.
victorious. Kenny, I've been dying to ask you, speaking of big money, Lane Kiffin gets bought out from one college to another. I'm still flabbergasted by this, man.
Why are you surprised? Have you not met Lane Kiffin before?
Huh?
I said, have you not met Lane Kiffin? Why are you surprised?
Hey, I got a story to tell you guys about him that I read the other day. But Kenny, I want to get your take. Kenny's a New Orleans native. You're a big LSU fan. What's your take from a LSU fan standpoint, brother?
I mean, this is the thing. I've never been, as far as like the biggest fan of Lane Kiffin, the person, over the years, right? I mean, I think a lot of people probably haven't. But he's a great offensive mind. And do I like him better than Brian Kelly? Like, hell yeah. A lot better than Brian Kelly. I never liked Brian Kelly. I hated that hire. You can ask both those guys. I complained about it from the jump because I
You're
just didn't
very
like the guy.
consistent with every LSU fan I've ever met. I've been driving these guys around town forever.
Yeah, so I'm cool with it. Now, this is the thing. I'm not like easily swayed. I know that this guy is probably not going to be here very long. My whole thing is if he can get a championship, at least one, if he can get a championship in 2-3 years or something like that, and then he dips, okay. I'm cool with it.
Was that the sentiment from folks back home? Is that you still got some family back in New Orleans?
I do. And like I haven't really heard anybody complaining about it. I think a lot of people are just waiting to see like what he can do. But we know how motivated he is to win. And with the resources that he has now, I think he's in a good spot to at least have them definitely competing. I mean, you can't guarantee a championship or anything like that. I'm just saying if he gets one within the next, like I said, even 3 years and then moves on, that's exactly what I expect. I'm not going to be banging on a table. I'm like, okay, well, that's exactly what we knew was going to happen. Like he's going to take the next best thing when it's available.
He's a hired hitman.
You just hope it doesn't happen before we win a championship.
That's
So
it.
we're on borrowed time, basically.
Okay,
I'm
so
not that naive.
Go ahead, Carlos. Oh, he ain't gonna do the LeBron thing. You know they got a big recruit transfer guy, Sam Levitt. I want to say his name is the Arizona State quarterback. Tennessee,
his third school now.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Rich?
He got sniped.
That's the game, and that's how it is. Like it's like free agency, you know. I mean, it really is. So, you know, Tennessee was after him. Some other schools were after him, and I think LSU just came in the last, inning and was able to pull it out.
I heard Lane met him.
He went to Knoxville again.
Yeah.
He was having a visit in Tennessee. Lane went to Knoxville and recruited him.
That's how you
I
do
love it.
It's a gangster.
Tennessee is just grasping at air for a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. They have a 5-star coming in and they have a 4-star there.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the game.
What happened to that Adidas money? I thought they were going to have all this money they could throw around.
Oh, they're going to have plenty of
They've
that.
got some good signings, haven't they, Rich? I mean, they got some guys brought over from
Well, Penn State's defense is transferred over.
Yeah.
They got a safety from Michigan, and I mean they're piecing together their new defensive coordinator, his style, because he runs a pretty unique style defense. So he's recruiting a lot of pieces that fit it, and that's the game.
Was he
And
Penn State's old defensive coordinator?
Yeah, he was there for a while.
Ohio State
Well,
and Penn State,
where did he go? He was from Ohio State originally.
Yeah.
Let's
And
see.
then he went to Penn State for 1 year, and then their defense was absolute trash. So congratulations to Tennessee on getting a trash defense. Didn't see that one coming. Walked right into that one.
In 3 years, they
Congratulations, Tennessee, for being garbage again.
I read the stats, so he's pretty good, man.
in 3
He was
years,
good
he
at
got
Ohio.
In that Oregon loss.
Yeah.
He was good at Ohio State, where they were giving players $20 million.
Yeah, he was Penn State last year, Ohio State 2022 to 24.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, he was at Oklahoma State.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
Oh, Oklahoma State, known for their
Well,
stout
Oklahoma State,
defenses.
now that's different. They couldn't recruit him. But let me ask you guys this: what do you? Lane Kiffin's daughter posted a video of him at home with a grocery basket that she says he took from the grocery store, and he says, well, they were charging us for bags, and he just so forgot. Now he supposedly took the basket back. I've been complaining to Walmart forever about not having enough of those things. And I asked the manager about it, and she said, well, people take them home. I said, what kind of you got some homeless people taking those things home? And
Yeah.
I got like Lane Kiffin to do it. Well, do you guys think he did that on purpose? I think he did. He just got busted. His daughter's doing a little Instagram video. And
Hey,
I don't know.
look at the recruit he just got. He takes what he wants.
Ooh.
I like
He
that.
takes
I
what
like
he wants, man.
Yeah.
I have a running theory that football coaches don't know how life works.
Yeah. They're
They
so.
don't they're so involved in it. They're like,
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah, I went to the grocery store and they gave me this buggy thing and I just walked it home because I was on the
Yeah.
phone with a recruit. Like they don't get like what goes on outside of the walls of football.
Yeah.
And so it's like Ed Orgeron may be the only down to earth national championship coach ever. And he does a thing where he calls
Down to earth. I don't know about. Well.
he does and listen, this is how crazy this man is. He does a thing that he calls jogging with his friend Ray Baker. He runs every day at the hottest point of the day with no sunblock on to get used to the sun and the heat.
he's wild.
And he's not lying about it because you've seen the skin.
He's pretty dark.
Yeah.
He's crispy.
He's roasted.
Yeah.
He's extra crispy, man.
This man is a nut, and he's the most down to earth national championship coach.
I want to drink a beer with him.
I don't, because you're not going to be able to leave.
A
You
few
go there.
It'd
like,
be
you're
a good time.
Yeah, he's drinking everybody else.
White alligator, bro.
I'm there for the ride.
I think he did it on purpose. He's almost like American Psycho. I mean, he just don't think that there's a line out of a Tupac song. I made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way, and that's Lane Kiffin.
That's
But-
Lane Kiffin.
Oh, no,
for
that
sure.
is Lane Kiffin. He's a sleaze.
Yeah, and look, Kenny, I ain't mad at. I appreciate your honesty. Get the championship in 3 years, and we'll find another guy.
Well, this is the thing about Lane Kiffin, and people laugh when I say this, but this is the part that as much as like I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he says and does sometimes, I feel like he's genuine though. Like,
Genuinely
and I'm not gonna use certain words, but like he's an a-hole, right? But he commits to it and he doesn't apologize for it.
Yeah.
It's at least he's genuinely an a-hole, right?
Yeah.
He's not some guy who acts like he's something that he's not, but everybody else thinks he's an a-hole. He's like, I am. I do
like
these
the
things
fact
and it makes people think that way, and I don't care because that's who I am. He doesn't apologize for it. I'm not saying that it's right, but at least it's genuine. I'd rather have somebody that knows who they are and embraces it versus somebody that pretends to be something else.
Is that because
Like Brian Kelly.
that
That's
accent?
a good point, though. That is a good point. Here, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, that was.
That's
I like
that's
that.
gig
That was
right
a good
there.
speech. Mostly because I hate Brian Kelly too. But anyway,
And
He's a piece of
he
shit.
embraces being a villain.
Yeah, he
I
does.
love that. Steve Spurrier embraced being a villain.
I don't even know if he thinks he's a villain. He just doesn't care what you think.
no, he knows what he's like. He's
Yeah, he knows
self-aware
what he's
about being a
doing.
jerk.
When he taunts Rich, I mean, come on, he is Steve Spurrier. That's why Spurrier wanted to be like, that's me 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You can't stand
Yeah.
interest without
That's a good
year
comparison.
Rich.
I mean, he's the only person that calls Nick Saban Nicky.
And Saban has told him off on the sideline. You got
By the way, Lane Kiffin, great
Thank you.
Twitter follow, by the way.
yeah, he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
troll. I like the fact. You don't want it to be too boring. Like we talked about boredom,
Yeah.
unpredictability. He's unpredictable. I mean, they play Tennessee next year, Rich, if I'm not mistaken. LSU and Tennessee. That's a storyline and a half right there.
That'd be great. I mean, it'll be probably the first time he's back since the mustard bottle incident. Or the golf ball. It was golf ball. Yeah,
No, there was mustard too. Like
it was mustard. It was everything. I was at that game. That was pretty wild.
I'm excited to see what Lane does because his talent pool is bigger now. And with the way that he is able to, he kind of started figuring out the transfer portal at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got to figure out a healthy mix of both, because now you got to keep kids in state and you've got to figure out who to pull that's going to mesh with your team. Because there's plenty of guys in the transfer portal that are 5 stars that were great at other schools, but you bring them in and they're not the same guy.
Yeah, that's what Sam Levitt's going to be.
Go ahead, Russ. Carlos?
You mean he can't just be hanging out in Knoxville every season's end?
Hanging out at the airport, just talking to the Tennessee.
I wonder if he's renting a Lexus.
Man.
That's what it takes.
You know, Kiffin, I like that. I mean, people might not like him, but like Kenny said, you know exactly what he is. He's going to troll. He's going to talk. And listen, there was an incident in the NFL between Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson over the weekend. And Ben Johnson like, F them Packers. And they did the handshake. So this is bringing some hype. I don't want it to be too just everything is scripted. I mean, I'm going to be the guy that's going to be boring. But as a fan, I like to see that because then it gets you hyped. Did you guys watch any of that Jake Paul fight? He's running that smart mouth, and I just loved it when Joshua just knocked him silly. We love
Lane
that.
Kiffin,
I don't know about
Lane
you.
Kiffin, like stories about Lane Kiffin are what make college football.
Yeah.
Like usually you don't hear stories about coaches until they leave. Like if they retire, like you don't hear stuff like Nick Saban is addicted to Little Debbie oatmeal cookies.
Yeah, he loves
oatmeal cream pie. He's addicted to them. It's just strange stuff like that about a man who you never hear anything about. The difference with Lane Kiffin is like he's going to leave LSU, and LSU fans are going to burn his house down. And that's the funny part of college football is everyone in America knows he's going to leave. But I'm not saying Kenny doesn't realize this, but there's a portion of that LSU fan base that goes, nope, he won't do it to us. He will, and he will do it laughing in a private jet that you paid for, probably.
And Ole Miss had his laundry out on the tarmac or whatever.
Right, and he was like, "I'll just buy new suits."
Yeah, he don't even care. He's just like, "Peace."
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that. I know they were cursing him out. He claims that they almost ran him off the road, but he's Lane Kiffin. You don't know if he's telling the truth or not. But
yeah, you don't.
It's still funny. He is funny.
Or if he's being sarcastic, and
that's what makes Lane. Like that's what you get with him. You get these goofy stories. Like when he goes back, he's gonna have to go back and play at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That is going to be a bigger game than it should be, 100%. Because by that time, Ole Miss will be Ole Miss again.
They'll be throwing stuff at him just like Tennessee was probably.
I think his personality fits, though. Honestly. Even in the short term.
Down in LSU, you got the governor involved. Kenny, it's crazy down there. He's crazy.
Brian Kelly never fit. Brian Kelly tried to fake his way.
It's a perfect.
Tried to fake his way through Louisiana, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So. We can see through that stuff, and I think people will appreciate Lane Kiffin, like I said, for being who he is.
I bet Kiffin's already got Juvenile's phone number.
Oh,
he can probably bring Juvenile on the side of the foot.
But Brian Kelly don't even know who that is.
No,
Brian Kelly doesn't.
Under the age of 18 is a juvenile.
He's buck wild.
Yeah, you got to be careful on that word with him.
Hey guys, I want us to take our time on this. That's why I'm saying a little earlier. But I want to get everybody's pick for the national championship. Let's get scores. If you guys, I'll clip it. And, hey, listen, we'll replay it. We'll market it. If you get it right or get it really close. I know Carlos probably 27-24. That's his favorite score there. We'll put that on your tombstone, brother. 27-24. Anybody want to go first? I'll go last. It doesn't matter.
I got you.
You want to go first, brother?
Yep. 35-14.
How's this going to play out?
Indiana.
So you okay? It's 8.5. So you're saying they're going to cover that?
Mm-hmm. I feel like they're going to cover it easily.
Game busters.
Yep.
It feels like it, brother.
They're on a roll, and it's just a matter of time before Miami's quarterback does them in. I believe it.
My dad had a line about that, and I think that Carson Beck in some cases could screw up a free meal. You know, I mean, he almost screwed that other game up. He threw an interception, and I didn't even bring this up, but that was a questionable call at the end of the Ole Miss game that could have went the other way. So, yeah, that's
Don't be surprised if he throws a pick six.
yeah, an undisciplined player like that and a very disciplined defense. That makes sense, man. I didn't think he was going to go that far. Big, what do you think, man? Look like you're hyped up to talk about this.
Mine's kind of long-winded, so
go ahead. That's why I will give you plenty of time, brother.
When teams are good, and you know they're good, people start complaining about them cheating, about them. Oh, their players are older than everybody. When in all actuality, they're just better than you. Indiana is just better than anybody they've played this year.
Better than you.
Oh,
you.
The thing is if there's a defense that matches with the speed that Indiana has, it is this Miami defense. I'm just worried about Miami's mush for brains offensive coordinator. Who sometimes gets caught eating glue on the sideline.
Okay.
Then you have to worry about their coach mismanaging timeouts, clocks, and whether or not he should be running a play or not instead of just kneeling on it. One thing I don't have to worry about is Cignetti making those mistakes. His team does not make a mistake. It is ridiculous how little they're penalized.
Yeah.
Oregon was a 50 burger, and he was proving a point to a team that was in the same conference. We're better than everyone else. He's going to do the same in the national championship to prove to the nation we're better than everyone else. 45-14.
Woo! Dang. Okay, Rich.
I mean,
saying Indiana. Okay.
yeah.
Rich,
so Indiana's had an incredible season, and I think they may be the most put together team that's playing as a team than any other school in college. However, it's in Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's red hot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Miami. Let me see. 35-27.
Upset.
Miami upset.
Oh,
And
Wow.
and no cooler will be safe around Michael Irvin.
Oh, he's going to go crazy if that
Oh,
happens.
dude, they're gonna lose purely because of Michael Irvin.
I hate to break it to Richard, but
Can't wait to see him
Indiana
cry on the
travels
sideline.
probably better than anyone in the playoff right now.
Don't they have the largest?
They
have the
should. That's
largest
their
alumni
first time
base
they've
in the
had a
country.
chance to.
Oh, and they are getting out. It is.
There's gonna be a
insane.
lot of pale
It's a-
ass people down in
Yes,
Miami.
there's a lot of people who are going to have to put on suntan lotion at night.
Yeah, they're gonna be
Because the moon's too
sunburned
hot.
from them
Yes,
out the cornfield right into the
I
right on the
went to
South
Miami
Beach.
for the
I think they-
championship, and I got moonburn, y'all. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
I think they legit have the largest alumni base in the country, though.
Yes.
Yeah, somehow.
Yes.
That's it. Carlos, what do you got now? Rich said what I thought you might say, because I know you like to be contrarian, but you did pick Indiana before we started this thing. But things may have changed. This game is played in Miami. What do you got, brother?
But I just everybody's talking about Mendoza, and I don't think this running back's getting his due amount of credit, and I think he's gonna go crazy. I think he might get 200 yards.
The Indiana running back?
Yeah, in this game, I
Okay.
think he's gonna, and that's probably gonna be a combination of catching the ball out of the outfield and running, because he's got pretty good hands that a lot of people don't give him credit for as well. He blocks, he catches a ball, he runs the ball well. He's got afterburn speed, man. He picks up speed. He's gone. He's got quickness inside the holes. So this is going to be the biggest challenge for him for the first 2 quarters. But then after that, he's gonna find a way to get his, and he might get 200 plus. And if he gets 100 and catching and running, this game's over for Miami, because they gotta realize that the defense that Indiana has will not allow them to get set up and get rest. And the offense is set up because this defense that Indiana has, which is the second underrated point I'm going to make, is they're the only team that have gotten to the best rated quarterbacks that were rated before they were in the playoffs, and nobody said nothing about that defense. So that defense is even more hungrier than people who talk about Mendoza and this running back. So this defense is going to score at least 7 points. They'll probably score more. And then this running back is going to score a few points, and whatever Mendoza does. So I'm with all these other guys they're going over 20 for sure. This is not 27-24. And this is a nice day. And this isn't like out in the cold area. This is going to be in Miami. Though, if I'm a Miami fan, I would stay in the air-conditioned building and not show my face at all, because this is going to be very embarrassing night for them. Michael Irvin, if you're listening, bro, just go upstairs, get your little box seat, and just cheer. And Ray Lewis up there and just cheer, but don't be on that field, man, because it's going to be an embarrassing day. Man.
He might actually get on the field.
What did you say the score was?
I didn't see a score yet. I'm with Big. I think this is going to go over 38 points, man. It's probably going to be like 42-20, something like that.
I like a point he made, but it was about the running back. What he said about blocking. The thing about Indiana and other good teams is your wide receivers block.
Yeah.
Indiana's wide receivers block. I don't know what he's told these guys.
And they
Everyone
catch after they block.
Yeah.
I'd imagine their wide receiver, their starting wide receiver, or their main top receiver will be a second-round pick in the draft because of some of that.
Yeah. Well, even if he's not second, he'll be
Nashville, Tennessee, Rich. Charlie Becker, I think is his name.
He may be a late first even.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think a lot of teams are going to like the Indiana players going into the draft, especially they got some thoroughbred offensive linemen, but so does Miami.
And defensive linemen too. Like to his point, it's a bunch of no-name good players that Indiana has. Yeah, they're lunch pail guys that are just going to get in the dirt. They're not afraid to put their hands on something.
So you guys are all going over, by the way, 47.5.
No,
it's busting that wide open.
The first two quarters going to be fun. You're going to see it's going to feel like that Miami game versus Ole Miss.
State 20 years.
Ohio State, where they was just kind of hitting, just banging against each other and hoping for offense to kind of, manufacture itself. But after halftime, this thing is done, bro.
I'll tell you a fun little game I like to play. It's first half under, whole game over, and I've hit it 3 times in this playoffs.
Ooh.
It is a needle to thread, but it is difficult.
Yeah. And to Rich's point, I'll say this. Because they feel like bigger favorites than 8.5. With that Miami defense, with that Miami running game led by, what's his name, Crutcher? I love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
There is a possibility that there could be some fluke turnovers. There could be some special teams plays, and this could go the other way. To what you're saying, Rich, there could be some fluke touchdowns. That being said, I think this will be about a one-score game, probably midway through the fourth quarter. And I'm saying they break that 8.5. And it's 31-19, which that would be 41-50. So I'm going to go over the 49.5, and I think Indiana is going to win the national championship. So, yeah. Hopefully we will get that high-scoring game. We'll have a close game. But I don't know. I don't want to be wrong about Miami. I kind of got Indiana. I kind of got that narrative now.
I think this has the potential. I don't think anyone's going to say 100% no way that happens. This could be Georgia TCU.
Wow. Well, if Beck does, you
can't tell me there's a 0% chance in that.
No, there's potential.
Because Miami's had to play darn near perfect football.
I know. It's been tough.
Carson Beck has looked unreal in specific situations.
Yeah.
He can throw 5 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he
has that ability.
Yeah. He can screw up things. Or you can look at it as the other side and say, well, he's got 2 national championships. The moment's not too big for him. Maybe
Oh
he
no,
has eight.
Carson doesn't have 2. He has 0.
I thought he's got
He has
2.
no-
He's got 2.
No,
with
that was no. That's Stetson Bennett.
no. They were. I read that Carson Beck national championships. I could have swore he's got national
He's
championships,
You saying he's played in 2?
but he's got
Now, he
2.
may have,
I don't know if he led them, but they're saying he's got.
well, if he's got
I've
2,
been
he was
reading that on the
bench.
internet all day, man.
Yeah, but look, I got a question. Like,
He's
So
got
everybody-
national 21 and 22 according to this AI. Google, you can Google AI big if you want to.
Well, I'm telling you right now, it was Stetson Bennett was the
2
quarterback
rings
for the.
from Georgia went.
Yeah,
far.
he didn't play. He was
He didn't
on the
play in
roster.
those.
Yeah, 21
But
and 22. That was
Backup
Bennett.
role, he played sparingly as a backup. Stetson Bennett during those championship runs, but
Mhm.
was still on
Yeah.
the roster. He's got 2 rings, but you're saying he didn't make the big throw to win it.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't play.
Yeah, he was on the roster. That was it.
Yeah,
He might have even
he
been a
was
red shirt
holding-
in 21.
Yeah, he was holding water.
But he didn't make the big throws.
Mm-mm.
I always
And
thought
even
it
when
was
he got in, we had such
Yeah.
good running backs. He would just hand
Yeah.
it to them and walk to the sideline.
we had Jalen Carter and Davis and that great defense. And
Oh God!
Brock
Don't even,
Bowers.
let's not talk about that defense. Because, oh,
hey,
Well, they play for the Eagles now, so
I watch them
They're
every
no
Sunday.
teams on the Eagles.
they
What do you say, Carlos?
are his stock has risen in the draft and a lot of these draft on draft boards, and I'm not thinking he hasn't really proved anything because, like you said, and even right now, come the second half, he's running the ball towards the end of the game. He just
They're putting it on the backs.
yeah, they put it on the back. So I don't know if that's a good idea to, not to say that he's not a good quarterback, but I don't think it's a great idea to just all of a sudden push him up on the draft board like that.
Mm-mm.
I think he's always going to be a product of what's around him. Excuse me,
Yeah.
and game managing. Like I think he could be. Now he's not as accurate as Kirk Cousins, but like Kirk Cousins-esque, where he could have a long career, or he could be a career backup. I think he'll be around the NFL. He may not be a top tier quarterback.
So like he can manage a team but not elevate one.
I think he's
Yeah,
his,
Probably
his
what he's going to be.
I think his best game is a game manager though.
Yeah,
Like he
But he
plays
has to
better
be-
when he's like,
told what
playing
to
a
do.
small game and not trying to win it on his own.
But you have to have certain type of players around you to be able to do that.
Which
too.
I think is what Miami's doing. And that's why he
Yeah.
looks great. Like he's got a 73.3 completion percentage. I would have thought that.
But he's
Well,
doing
he
one.
played-
He's
Earlier
doing
in
one.
the season, that's a really impressive if you think about it.
Earlier in the
17,
season, he had kind of a problem where he would blame other people for mistakes.
Yeah.
And, but that's Carson. You're going to get that with him. That's just who he is. But he's gotten better about that. He's grown up a little bit. Either that or someone told him to shut up.
Yeah. I was about to say might have gotten beaten up by somebody in Miami.
I'll just
Yeah.
say this:
Or in
he's
Georgia.
due a
No
bad
nonsense
game.
Huge
Trust me.
He is
Yeah.
due.
Guys, I
Historically.
appreciate it. I will send you a copy of this. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the At the Real Sports Scope YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Kenny, thank you.
No, thank
Matt
you.
New Yorker, Big Rich, Big Tan, and Rich. Really
I have-
appreciate it. Go ahead.
I have one parting thought that I found out today because
Yeah.
a lot of our conversation today went around the NIL. A
Yes.
way to fix this is one is a salary cap. I think we all agree on that. The other is did anyone else realize right now that agents for college athletes are unregulated and some are taking up
Yeah.
to 25% of their signing?
And
Right,
some of them
but-
are family members.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing, Big. A lot of the universities are taking that cut because they have what they call NIL support on their campuses. So
So
20% is actually going back to the university. They're just recycling.
That's part
another
of the
thing that's the
guardrails
difference
that need to be
between the
put.
NFL and college football right now. That also needs to be regulated because if you're only making 3%,
That's
It's
the
not gonna
NFL. Yes.
you're
Yeah.
not going to be as an agent, you're not going to be inclined to move your guy around as much. Now, if you can get up to that much, if you can get up to 25%, of course you're going to the highest bidder every year.
Yeah.
A lot
I
of
think
things need to change with this. And
I think that opens the door for a collective bargaining agreement and having a college football players association,
What
just
is
like
it?
the NFL.
The new president of NCAA though, he's all up on that. That's what he's like trying to
The way
headway.
they want legislation and everything. And listen, even the president spoke on it. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool. And I said this, guys, I predicted this on other programs years ago. I said, this is the oh crap stage. This is going to go. We're going to need this and that and this and that. This is the Wild West. I said, yeah, but it's already starting to settle down a little bit. It was worse a few years ago. We still had the stuff with Nico's brother, Rich. Remember that? He went to Arkansas or something, and he left and went to UCLA.
Yep.
So it's going to work out. But the old timers, my dad's generation, they hate it. But us younger guys are like, you know what? I'm okay.
Free enterprise, baby.
We
Free
did
enterprise.
older
Make-
guys
make that
don't
money.
get it. We get it because we grew up with free agency and pro football.
Yeah.
That's why we're so inclined to it.
And we
These guys
capitalize,
don't
man.
want changes in Major League Baseball. They don't want none of this stuff. And I want it all. I want more. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy the games. Got to kick everybody from the studio. See you, Rich.
See.
Oops. I'm just kicking guys out one by one here. See you
Later,
Dave.
Robert.
Appreciate you, brother. All right, everybody. If you like the show, share the show. I'll be back tomorrow with the Mad New Yorker. We're going to go to the NFL. Trust me, we're going to get all up in it. But next week, 1 week from today, live, I will be here with Ralph Williams to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's from the Sports Corner and whatnot. Ralph Williams, big. We want to talk about that Mike Tomlin and everything else, and NFL destinations for coaches and everything. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Have a good night, everybody.